Welcome to the Crystals and Garden. Today we have a reading from the Divine. I am an intuitive reader, and today I channeled specifically a message to the collective from the Divine. I have already pre-shuffled, so if this resonates with you, amazing. It could resonate in the future. If it does not resonate at all, please just let it be. And for those who it does resonate with, let's get started. All right, let's dive in. So, a really big message that I am getting from the Divine is, I feel like we all feel like we're really been just having a moment. I feel like with the Five of Wands here, we've all been feeling like we're really just living our everyday life, and things just kind of feel like they're coming at us, where we could just, maybe for a lot of us, things are just not going the way that we want, or it could be, really little things, it could be really big things, but I feel like the overall energy is we're all just kind of struggling just a little bit. Maybe we go to our favorite coffee shop and our coffee just doesn't taste right, or they got our order wrong, or maybe something we ordered online didn't come in time, or maybe plans we had made got rescheduled, or we could go on a bit of a more extreme term where we just feel like in our everyday life we're feeling attacked, which is also a possible energy of the Five of Wands, where we feel like we're just existing and things are just coming down on us. But with the Page of Swords here, it's a beautiful time to just, what I'm getting is, although, sorry, I'm getting a message now. Although we feel like we're alone, and although we feel like things aren't going our way, just because we're just being ourselves doesn't mean there isn't a message, and doesn't mean there isn't peace within what is going on. Which is why I think we have the moon here, is I feel like it is a perfect time in any moment to be able to refocus, calm yourself, and really reflect on maybe why these things are happening, why this energy is in our life. Maybe there's something that we aren't seeing, really. And I always personally, like, if I feel like I am unbalanced or things just aren't really going right, a lot of the times, if I start tripping or maybe stubbing my toe, I always really make a point to come back to center, to reflect. And I think that's really funny to put out there, because possibly some of you resonate with that, where that is a telltale sign of, okay, I need to stop, I need to recenter, I need to focus, and I need to look at the bigger picture of what's going on here, because something is out of line, something is out of whack. And I feel like when we are in that energy of, oh my gosh, like it is endless, like there's just endless things coming our way, it's really always a good time to just refocus our world, come back to center. Especially, it's a really wonderful time that the divine is asking you to really just take a deep breath, take that bubble bath, go to the beach, go to the pool. Depending on when you're reading this, right now it is the end of March. We are coming into spring, and maybe possibly just taking that time to yourself, enjoying the sun, enjoying the weather that's coming in, and allowing things to change. I feel like right now, especially energetically with what's happening with planets, whatever you choose to follow, astrologically wise, there's a lot of things happening, and that could be influencing this as well. And I'm getting the message that reflect, because expansion is happening. All these things are happening for a reason. There is gonna be space for hope and healing, and this beautiful, beautiful message of, although things seem really intense, it is meant. And I love how we have the High Priestess, because this is a message from the divine, and I always love when I have the High Priestess come out in the Star card when I am channeling the divine, just because to me it just feels like that energy is really present, and that just that light is here. And I love that we have hope and healing and expansion. And the fact that we do have the World card, I feel like possibly a lot of us are moving through these really intense moments, but it's almost for some of us creating these new perspectives for us and weaving a beautiful new possibly life. Maybe a lot of us right now are going through all these things to welcome in brightness. And I think that is a really important thing, that if we are watching it around the time that spring is coming up, that is absolutely aligned, where we are moving in to blossoming, to thriving, to all these really amazing fruits, especially because on a few of our cards we really do have this feeling of abundance and this feeling of blossoming and blooming. And I feel like right now, although I know it's really difficult, I know that we feel really stuck, but as we continue to weave and really just get back to center and reflect with ourselves, expansion and growth are going to be happening, and it's going to be absolutely amazing for us. Something that I'm really getting right now is we as humans need the low times. Sometimes we need to be in that lower vibration. We need those lower interactions. We need those moments that we're maybe not so proud of for our own growth. And the universe, the divine, I love how the universe came in here, especially the divine, is asking us to really reflect and ask ourselves, is this really the end of the world for us? Is this really going to be something that I keep with me for the rest of my life? Or is it something that I can let go and I can move through and I can become a stronger person? Which I love. So overall, I feel like this reading is just pretty much a big hug and a really big safety net of things are happening And it might not be amazing and everything might not be going our way right now, but there is going to be change and things are going to start moving. But it's up to you and it's up to ourselves to really be able to hone in on what is kind of affecting us, what is wrong, what is kind of shifting our energy in the wrong direction. And it is to refocus, rebalance, and allow ourselves to expand in ways that we didn't see before and really get a perspective shift. And also take care of ourselves and especially nurture ourselves during these really difficult times. Now, I do have a few, bigger, more oracle cards that I have pulled. It is a Nature's Whisper. I love this deck as well. I always feel like it really helps me come into my inner child and really connect myself with that bit more of a whimsical side. And I also feel like this reading's been a little heavier, a little bit more real from the divine, so it's always really nice to have a bit of a more light-hearted energy. So our first oracle is okay, the big picture. Like I was saying, I feel like we really do need to take a step back and we need to just take a deep breath and look at the bigger picture and really reflect on why are these things happening and where is it attached to. And I love how we have a world here, and once again we have this blossoming. If you're really watching this as springtime is coming, really pay attention to the world around you and really see where things are blooming, because we may feel stuck, you may feel really down, but the universe and the divine are really asking you to focus on what is actually going right, which I love. Be spontaneous. Okay. I just got compelled to say that whenever I feel stuck, something that I really love to do is to change 5 to 10 things in my space. And for me, although that doesn't really resonate with spontaneous, but for me, that's how I feel like we get unstuck energy, so we can let the spontaneous energy flow. And I think what I was trying to say was, when we feel stuck, changing 10 small things can really allow a better flow into our lives and really allow connection to happen again. And it's something that I personally do. If I ever feel like things are just happening, I change some things, and it really is small things. It's maybe the way that we have, I know everybody has like colored lights now. Maybe we move, maybe we've been kind of stuck on a color and maybe it's time to move to a different color, or maybe we've been kind of wearing the same clothes recently or wearing the same perfume, or maybe we're a little too stuck in our routine and maybe it's time to be a little bit spontaneous and change some stuff up. And maybe buy, like I said earlier, maybe the coffee shop that we go to, got our order wrong or it just wasn't made right. Maybe it's asking you to be spontaneous and change some stuff up in your life to allow flow to start to come back in. And I love how we have the synchronicity of a full moon, and on our moon card, it's a full moon as well. So it's beautiful. We have be your best self always, which is so cute because even though we're going through some really hard times, we feel like things are just piling down on us, it's always a beautiful message to really be your best self. So like, again, I'm gonna come back to the coffee analogy. I actually work in coffee and work in that type of environment, so I might make a lot of references to coffees because I feel like it's something that we all at least maybe once a week kind of indulge in. But maybe when our order didn't necessarily go right, instead of projecting that same energy on, maybe we cut it off at that. We're like, you know what, it didn't taste right, so tomorrow or the next time I come, I'm just gonna get something different. Or, you know what, like, they did get my order wrong, but it's okay because I actually kind of enjoy what I got. So it's really important to really always keep in flow with ourselves, even when we do feel like things are just really intense and not maybe going the best way. You can always turn something really crummy into something really beautiful. So always remember that. All right, cultivation of vision. Okay, this is always an interesting one, and one that kind of always gets me really thinking. I love the image of the butterflies, especially because we are now starting to see a lot more. Cultivation of vision. I feel like, once again, it's just the divine asking us, when we are going through these really small inconveniences, what is the vision that we want to project onto others? Do we want to be seen in a negative light, as in, oh, like, they got my stuff wrong, so let me like hone in on that? But I feel like it's just moving forward. How can we be a better us during really low times? I do always kind of struggle with this card, and I feel like that's a beautiful message in of itself, but what I am getting visually is to just allow yourself to transform. Allow these things that are happening to transform into something possibly more positive. I know that sometimes positivity can be seen in a negative manner, which is ironic. Not to project any sort of toxic positivity, but really sometimes the best thing you can do is to keep hold of that optimism and to allow things to flow and allow things to change and possibly change your own vision and your own perspective. We're getting a lot about perspective here. So maybe you are possibly somebody who's a bit more pessimistic, and maybe the divine is asking you to be a bit more optimistic and maybe reflect on that and go, instead of saying, wow, this ruined my day, or you know what, this is a beautiful way now that I can try something new. Or maybe it's raining and you had plans and it's the divine asking you to kind of hold optimism, like, oh, well, I had some stuff I had to do at home anyway. So I feel like the divine is really asking us to create a new mental pathway for us, because it's not always bad. Sometimes there are some really beautiful things that happen from a silly little minor inconvenience. Let's see. Okay, yes, clear up the old, which we love. Okay, I love this. We have so many synchronicities. We have so many things that are blossoming. I love the key because it also reminds me of the World card. And we have a lot of water as well in all these cards, so that to me is really keep flow. As well as we have the owl, which we have on our moon card, which is I love. And we have the rainbows, and I think the rainbow to me is always very symbolic of the divine, so I love how it's just really pushing its message. Yes, I feel like although it took me a little bit to get, which I love, sometimes as I read I don't really get the full message until we get something like this. It all makes sense now. We are definitely a bit more pessimistic right now. I have that really big feeling where, it's so funny, as I started this reading, this is kind of one of my first readings that I'm ever doing and putting out there publicly that's very long. What I think is so funny was things just weren't going right. the positioning wasn't going right. I really wasn't feeling it, but I was like, you know what? I'm doing it anyway. I'm showing up, and that's what matters. And as I continued to do the reading, I was like, you know what? My internal dialogue was just kind of saying, like, you know what? It doesn't really make sense. I maybe stopped and started a few times just to get a feel. But what I love is I just continue moving forward, and as I got into it, I felt more of the flow. I felt more of the divine. The universe came in a little bit, and what I love is that we are getting clear out the old, which is so beautiful. The divine is asking us to allow that pessimistic flow, allow that negative wave to just wash over, and allow the positivity just in. Allow the light in, allow optimism. I have really personally started to use optimism and pessimism instead of negative and positive, especially when it comes to thought waves, because positivity and negativity are both something that don't last. And becoming to our center is something that we really have to remember, and coming back to ourselves is really, really important, because even positive, happy energy is not meant to be substantial. It is not long-term. It is something that comes in, is quick, and then we are back down to center. So yes, I think the divine is truly, truly, truly asking us to see where we are being pessimistic, where we're having that really quick, this didn't go my way, or this isn't how it turned out, and it's asking you to see the light. It's to see what could be. It's asking you to find that optimism, and I love it. I love it. And that's going to be something that you find within yourself. This is going to be all an internal thing that you're going to be experiencing. And our last card is Celebrate Differences. Okay, this is interesting. Once again, we have a really, really intense message of flowing. Maybe we need to be grounding right now, because we have a lot of earth as well showing up. But celebrate differences in the essence of, I do feel like, honor this part of you. Honor that voice that isn't always the happiest, maybe has a bit of a more cynical tone to it, and embrace it with this new wave of, you know what, didn't go my way, but this is how it's turning out, and I accept it and I surrender to it. So I love that, and especially the 3, and we have some synchronicities with some 3s here. So I do feel like you are being guided, and it is really time just to go inward and just to really feel, you know, where am I feeling stuck, and where can I have a better outcome and a better mindset with it. And I love sacred geometry. And I love how it's all connected, and we're all going through this journey, and we all move through things. And sometimes it is really hard to see the brighter side of things, but it's always there. And sometimes we also do need to embrace that darker side and allow those things to flow. But that, so many beautiful synchronicities. Look, I love, especially love when we have a lot of bright colors and a lot of animals. Especially why I love my animal totem deck is look out for owls, look out for rainbows. And I'm gonna send us off with some beautiful oracle 1-note cards. I just got 23 on the timer, which is really, really beautiful. It is this 1111. It's just, I love it. Is bracing this new time, this new wave. Allow yourself to be, but I'm gonna send us off with some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards just some things that maybe we just need to hear. Divine, is there anything that you just want to send the collective off with? Is there anything that you want to send to the collective? Ooh, okay. Decision. It is your decision and your decision only to see the brighter side of things. It is all up to you to really view life in a different way, and at the end of the day, it is just you. I think a lot of the times we do look externally for a lot of help and a lot of mentoring, a lot of things, but you are your best mentor, especially during these really turbulent times. You know what's best for you. You have that inner voice. We all do. It does seem like a very feminine thing to have intuition and to have a really strong sense of inner knowledge, but we all have that ability to tap into that. So really feel the way that your body is trying to move you in towards, and I just yes, make the conscious decision make the conscious decision to be more mindful today. I think that's a really beautiful affirmation. I even like to say it is, I choose to be mindful today. I choose to be optimistic. I choose to see the light in all situations. I think those are really solid affirmations that you should very much say to yourself. Is there anything else, Divine, that you would like to send to the Divine? I also love this deck. I'm like a sucker for a gold border. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, we'll take this one. Okay, we have boundaries, which is very interesting. I think definitely having boundaries with ourselves and maybe not pushing ourselves entirely. I know it's really hard to find the positive in things, especially if we are going through something a little bit deeper. It's very hard to be able to move through that. So make sure to have boundaries with yourself, and make sure you have boundaries with positivity and have boundaries with negativity, because you are in control. You are absolutely in control with the way your life flows. We have a lot of air movement here. You are able to pick the course of your own actions, and you are in full control of your life and your mind. And I know it doesn't seem like that, but honestly, create a boundary with your own mind. You know, say, I do have control today. I do have balance within myself. I am able to help myself in the way that I need to be helped. So truly set boundaries with yourself. I think we all don't do that enough, that sometimes we think of boundaries just being external, but we can also make boundaries within our own self. And I think boundaries also relates to self-discipline in a way where if we're done with this mental discord and we're kind of done with ways that things are going, we can literally say, I'm going to create a boundary with myself. I see that I always seek the negative, but today I choose to seek the positive. So it's really important to have a boundary to yourself. And on the bottom of the deck, we had advocate, which I absolutely love, which once again, we have all these flowers. Really look out for flowers. We're having a lot of these purpley blue, which is our higher chakras. So really pay attention to that, and pay attention to how your third eye feels and how your crown feels during this time. But I do feel like the Divine is really saying, advocate for yourself, take the time you need, relax, really get in with yourself and reflect, and really move through things at your own pace. You know, we're all on this really difficult journey that we have decided to call human life, and it's sometimes really scary. It's sometimes really hard to be alone, but at the end of the day, you have yourself. you are enough and you have more than enough capability of moving through some really heavy stuff. We are kind of honestly made for this. We are made for heavy, heavy things. And that's like the most beautiful thing as humans that we possess, is the fact that we can emote so much. So allow yourself to flow, reflect. Don't overdo it, don't underdo it, but really catch yourself. Where are you being a little bit more negative? Where can you be a little bit more positive? Where can you be a little bit more optimistic about things? And just know that you're in control. Thank you so much for coming to the Crystals and Garden. I had an amazing time. Let me know down below if this resonated with you. If anything stuck out, let me know. I absolutely can't wait to have y'all come back again. Alright, good luck, y'all. Have so much fun. Stay optimistic.